This is Kay Kritiques. Hello everybody and welcome to another segment of Kay Kritiques, where we discuss all things South African television. And as you can already tell by the title of today's video, we are reviewing Adulting Season 2 Episode 12, titled Soccer Guy. Now, before we get into the video, you guys already know I discussed the gens one by one according to their storylines, but I would like to request that you guys subscribe to this channel to support, like this video if you enjoyed it, and turn on the notification bell if you enjoy this type of content. Without any further rambling, let us get into the video, starting off with Eric. Now, Eric is stressed. Misa is locking herself in her bedroom and he's actually afraid of losing her. Like, he's been stressed, especially after the incident that happened that almost landed them in jail. He's heavily considering going to therapy with Misa. They do eventually go and he is silent at first. Nobody's talking. Even Misa, she's closed off. Nobody's saying anything. The therapist actually is like, listen, I can't help you guys if you're not talking. And Eric is like, Misa, talk. And the therapist is like, you both have to talk. You both are here for family therapy and you both have to talk, right? Instead of talking, there's a lot of bickering, there's a lot of arguing. Misa still has an attitude, but we get a little bit of insight into what she's feeling. We get a bit of insight into her mental state. She actually says that she feels imprisoned by Eric and she feels that Eric feels like he's always right. Her misbehavior is Eric's fault because he's a control freak. So this is basically her way of trying to break out of his control. Extorting your dad for money and faking your kidnapping, stealing your great grandmother's money, going out and smoking drugs is not because your dad is a control freak because of the things you're doing. Like, to think that when Misa moved here, Eric trusted her 100%. He even allowed her to go to the pins down party because of the struggle that she was having with the grandmother, and he felt guilty about it. He trusted her enough to allow her to go to the party. Everything was going well. So how was Eric a control freak? Because he only turned into a quote unquote control freak. You were out of pocket. Like, you were doing things that a 15-year-old shouldn't be doing. You were going out here smoking drugs, going out at night, doing whatever, not listening to parents, bunking school. Of course, a parent is going to be more strict and trust you less if you're doing things to make the parent not trust you. Arguing, and Eric is like, tell this therapist, tell this lady that you kidnapped yourself. The good doctor is like, Misa, can you just step outside? I want to talk to your dad. They actually have a conversation and the therapist does bring up that you have anger issues, like you have a short temper. And I've been saying this since season 1. I've been saying that Eric and his temper are gonna be his downfall and that he has major anger issues. I want Eric to work on his anger because that is the thing that's gonna hold him back. That is his Achilles heel. The way he's able to switch from 0 to 100 in a snap of a finger is dangerous and scary to me. In the beginning of the season, we were told that he actually went to Market and was like, Minky's left me, and just the same way that my mom left me, everybody leaves me. And I thought he had mommy issues, but then the therapist is asking him like, where are your parents? What's your relationship with your parents like? And he actually confesses that his parents died of AIDS when he was 10 years old. So I didn't really understand. Maybe the mom during those 10 years wasn't around and she was still absent. Or Eric, why does he feel like his mom left him? Why not say, oh, my dad also left me? Or maybe the dad was absent. Like, I really want to find out more about Eric's past. I feel like we've gotten a glimpse into Vuyani's childhood and how he was raised because of the dynamic that he has with his dad, which we will get into a little bit later. And we've also gotten into Bonga's upbringing. We haven't really seen a lot of Mpho's upbringing. We haven't really gotten an insight into Eric's upbringing. We know that he was raised by his grandmother, but we don't really know his story, and I really want the writers to expand on his story. So then he now talks about, okay, his parents were not around for most of his upbringing, and he doesn't want his child to go through what he went through. He wants to be there for Ncumisa, and he doesn't want Ncumisa to turn out like him and Natasha. The therapist actually raises up a good point that his anger will make him lose her by pushing her away. Not only his anger, but the way that he behaves, the way he disciplines her, like beating her up, like speaking to her in a certain way. Those things are not gonna bring back Natasha, like everybody's been saying throughout the season, but also those things are gonna push her further away. I feel like the more strict and the more outrageous you are in raising your parents, it depends on the extreme. Like some parents literally do not care, and then that is neglect, and then that leads the child to be distant from you. But then also, if you're too strict and overbearing, the child, you push them away. So like I feel like in both extremes the outcome can be the same. Like I've been saying this and I'm gonna continue saying this, Eric really needs to work through his issues, but not only his issues, he needs to get a grip of his life. He wants better for his daughter, so then do better. Like he's been singing the same song since season 1, but there hasn't been a lot of growth since season 1. Yes, you're not jacking cars anymore, but your life is literally still the same. Ncumisa and Eric are literally two sides of the same coin. Like they are the same person. They make up in the end, and I'm like, okay, the way they made up was just so I would have wanted to see more. I would have wanted to see a better conversation being had. I would have wanted to see them resolving things in therapy before they make up fully, where they just like, oh, giggly. I mean, you can giggle with your dad even when you're working out your issues, but like I wanted there to be more of a conversation, more of self-awareness, more of an apology from both sides, to actually see therapy taking place instead of just 2-second clip of them like making up and making faces at each other and then just sharing food. And I do hope they keep up with the therapy. I really do hope that they stick it out. Let us move on to the man who stresses me out every single week, Vuyani. Like honestly, I told myself that I'm gonna stop stressing about Vuyani, but honestly, every other episode I'm just like, really my guy, really? So the honeymoon phase is now over. Beth went from praising his prowess in the bedroom, and now she's back to being her controlling self. Like she's back to berating him, back to being emotionally abusive. Viani has basically been turned into a sex slave, and they're going out to an event, and you see that there's a bunch of rules, and don't do this, don't touch me when we get to the event, don't even speak to me, let me socialize, let me see and flirt with other people, then you're gonna go down on me in the car and all this other nonsense. And I'm just like literally picking fights about everything. Like Viani says something minuscule and it turns into this big thing. I know that other episode was titled The Devil You Know, but like I feel like Portia would have been a better devil. But anyways, he goes home now to pack up the rest of his stuff because it only went there with the duffel bag. Obviously the dad is like, really, you're back to sleeping with old women again? What is wrong with you? You're such a disappointment. Honestly, I feel like part of Vuyani's reasons is that my dad thinks I'm a disappointment anyway, so what is the point of me actually working towards something and working hard because everybody sees me as a disappointment, which is not true, but I truly do believe that that is what he thinks and that's how he feels. He's like, Dad, I'm nothing like you. Disrespects his dad, and he claims that he has ambitions and I know my purpose. What is your purpose? Why aren't you pursuing it? I don't think you know your purpose, because if you did know it, then you would be pursuing it. You wouldn't be out here sleeping with sugar mamas if you knew what your purpose was, because you have friends who would support you even financially, because I feel like Bonga would definitely be able to support Vuyani if he came with something tangible, something realistic, instead of just being like, please borrow me 50k because he wants to buy Zelda a Gucci bag. Bonga and your friends would rally behind you and would want to help you. And these old women that you are speaking down upon, well, they have their own money, blah blah blah, and you're still living at your dad's house, and it's like, bruh, you were living at your dad's house last season, so why are you now looking down on people who still stay with their parents? So then he gets back and Beth wants to pick a fight as usual, and he actually stands up to Beth, claims that he loves her. It's either love or witchcraft, because there's no way that you're back here, because there's no other reason why you would be back here. He's like, everybody in your life, Beth, has left you. Your daughters have left you, your husband doesn't love you, your employees don't love you. Nobody is here voluntarily in your life because they want to be with you. I'm the only one who's in your life because I care. And allegedly, we didn't see this, thank God we didn't, gave him the best blowjob in the world, and he feels like the man now. And I'm just like, how long is this gonna last? Anyways, we'll see how all this pans out. And I really do hope that Viani, you can make something of yourself right now, because this thing of being in your 30s and still sleeping around with sugar mamas without a purpose, without any direction in life. When we last left off, Bonga didn't want anything to do with any of these guys. First of all, Eric got him arrested. Second of all, Mpho accused everybody of being the reason why Z2 left him. And then Vuyani went back to bed, so he was like, F you, Vuyani, I don't even want to be near you. He wants nothing to do with them, to a point where he even left the group chat. That is petty as hell. I was like, Bonga, you petty for that. And now he started hanging out with different people. You can see that he doesn't fit in. Not that he doesn't fit in, but these people are not the perfect fit for him. And this is where actually our title of today's episode came from, where it's like, I'm the soccer guy. And everyone is just like, oh, golf this, golf that. Like, it's true. Like, these are the business rules. On the golf course, that's where we discuss business. That's where we make connections. And we meet people, we seal the deal on golf courses, and we speak about different opportunities. We can hook you up with somebody, people can open doors for you. And yeah, so he keeps saying, I'm more of a soccer guy, and they're busy talking about this Aspen deal, and they're like, we know you're in construction, but we're gonna include you and we're gonna hook you up, you're gonna be part of this. And I'm like, I just have a bad feeling about this. I feel like there's a lot of corruption involved, and I don't want Bonga to be a part of that. But at the same time, it's like, now Ubonga's in a space where he's getting more opportunities. He's networking with people who can hook him up with tenders, who can hook him up with job opportunities, business opportunities. That brings me to another point that I see what Nkanyezi was saying in season 1. How are these people progressing your life? And as much as not all friendships have to be of monetary gain, not all friendships have to be that you're gaining something financially, but it should be that in all your friendships you are gaining something that brings value into your life. What value are these gents bringing into his life? And I think he kind of realized that, but at the same time, it's like, I don't think Ubonga is in a space where he's willing to grow and expand and actually mature. So that's why, like, Vuyani, Eric, and Mpho are his comfort zone, and he's not ready to get out of that. I'm not saying he needs to start playing golf and stop playing soccer. Nkanyezi is actually even worried that Ubonga is going to regret leaving his friends and not inviting them to the wedding. Ubonga is being hard-headed. He's like, I don't miss them, I don't want them at my wedding. Eric is gonna steal cars, Viani is gonna sleep with your grandmother. Boy, I don't even know what he's gonna do. He's probably gonna impregnate somebody there. But deep down he misses them. I don't know why. He was busy acting all tough. And we see Ubonga, he's stalking Vuyani's Instagram. He misses the gents. A lunch outing with Nkanyezi's friends. They admit that they didn't like Thabiso. I feel like in that moment while Ubonga was sitting there and everything is just going on around him, realizing that I don't fit in here. I don't care about these topics that they're talking about. I don't relate to them in any sense. And he's like, listen, I have to go take care of business, blah blah blah. He goes to his friends and they make up. But here's where I have a problem with it. I mean, the boys are back. The boys. I'm happy about that. Like, you guys had such a major falling out. Words were said and things need to be addressed, but nobody had a conversation about them. I doubt that this conversation actually happened even off camera. There was just no conversation. Bonga just shows up at the bar. He's like, can I have some beer? They give him, and then he's like, oh yeah, you guys, here's an invite. I'm inviting you to my wedding. The wedding is next week. I'm like, the wedding is next week? He's getting married so soon? Like, has it even been a year? I feel like him and Kanyisi just got back together and now they're getting married next week. He asked Eric to be the best man. I'm like, the boys are back. But I honestly fear for this marriage at all. Like, how is he gonna fit into Kanye's life? I don't even know what to say, but I'm very fearful. So Mpho actually wants the gents to go and speak to Zito on his behalf, and I'm like, why would you do this? Letting people go talk to your wife and you know exactly why your wife wants to leave you. He has the kids over and the kids are like, mommy always makes us pancakes, He snaps at his kids. It's like, hey, where's your mother here? Mpho getting chest pains is exactly my type of content. And it gets even worse because Upalesa serves him with the restraining order because he came there drunk, talking like out of his ass, talking about, hey, you seduced me, why didn't you stay in that hellhole? This child that you brought me, you ruined my marriage, you're Jezebel and all this other stuff. So anyways, the gents go, and now obviously Bonga's back in the mix to speak to Zito. And listen, my girl is not standing on business, she is stomping on business. So they go and they're like, listen, Mpho knows that he was wrong, Makoti, forgive him, hey, you are like our sister, we love you, so you guys think of me as your sister. And they're like, yeah. Oh, so would you let your sister get treated the way Mpho treated me? They didn't have a response, and they're like, no, Mpho knows that he's wrong, forgive him, he made a mistake. And it's like, the first time wasn't a mistake. And she brings up a valid point. She's like, you guys do not love Mpho. And honestly, I believe that. These guys don't like each other. They don't love each other. Like, if you guys truly did love Mpho, you wouldn't have allowed him to ruin his marriage and his family like this. Like, when he was cheating and you guys were going with him, gallivanting, thinking to Slim are making me an idiot because I'm the only person here who didn't know that Mpho was cheating. None of you actually sat him down and advised him. None of you came to me to warn me as your quote-unquote sister. She brings over the divorce papers and Mpho signs the divorce papers. And I'm like, hallelujah. Zito is distraught. I'm like, are you having regrets? Girl, bah. If Zito goes back to Mpho one more time, and I'm like, girl, don't even. Like, you'll get over Mpho. You'll find somebody who's gonna love you unconditionally. But yeah, guys, that was Adulting Season 2, Episode 12, titled Soccer Guy. Please do let me know your thoughts in the comment section down below. I would love to hear what you guys think of the episodes. Thank you for watching, and I will see you guys in the next video.